Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KAJ, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Don Fisher. Winter weather has finally made its way to northwest Montana after days of inversion. But can we expect it to continue for the weekend? Let's toss it over to Chief Meteorologist Erin Yost and look at her first forecast. Erin?
Start this weekend off on kind of a snowy note as this system continues to impact the region. However, most of the focus, at least some of that moderate to even heavy snow at times, now starting to shift a bit further to our south. We're not quite done yet. We might see a little bit more light accumulation overnight tonight. We do have those winter weather advisories in place right through 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Notice this encompasses the entire western half of the Treasure State, so a lot of areas being impacted by some light snow. Getting reports of very slick roadways out there tonight. Got the extended forecast coming up for everyone.
Okay, thank you, Erin. Dedicated forensic scientists are continuing to investigate the circumstances surrounding the children's bones that were found in September. Despite their best efforts, they may not be able to find out who these children were. MTN's Lauren Heiser has continuing coverage.
Small pieces of jawbone and multiple teeth were found in the box along with rocks and other animal bones. Deputy Medical Examiner for the state of Montana, Aldo Frisaro, said to learn more about the bones and who they belonged to, they took measurements. The measurements are then put into a database that gives them an approximation for age, sex, race, and other identifying factors. The compilation of all of this information is called a biological profile. Frisaro said that this process was made difficult because the bones that they had to work with were very small. The Anthropology Department determined that the bones were considered modern, which according to Frisaro means that they are under 99 years old. After the Anthropology Department and the medical examiner finished their testing, there were still some questions left unanswered.
I think it would be really important to know if the cases are related to each other. For example, if they're siblings. If these cases are not related, they may not be those Michigan cases.
To answer those questions, the evidence was sent to the University of North Texas for DNA extraction and testing.
The probability of them getting enough DNA out of these bones to do their work is low. It's possible, but it's low. So we submit it anyway and hope for the best. That's all we can do.
In addition to the tests being performed at the University of North Texas, they'll also be comparing dental records. Reporting in Missoula, I'm Lauren Heiser with MTN News.
And the Michigan State Police confirmed earlier this week that investigators are working with the Missoula Police Department to determine if there is any connection to Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner Skelton, who were reported missing from Morrisey the day after Thanksgiving in 2010. The mother of the missing boys issued a statement on Facebook late yesterday as news of the discovery broke. Tanya Zuvers writes that this information has been presented to our family and we are processing it and hopeful that it will have answers soon. We are thankful for all your thoughts and prayers. In earlier interviews with Michigan media outlets, she says she does not believe that her sons are still alive. The children's father is serving a prison time sentence for false imprisonment related to the boys' disappearance. He continues to claim that he gave the boys away and does not know where they are.
Salute to Service is brought to you by Flathead Electric Cooperative, your not-for-profit member-owned co-op.
The Columbia Falls Police Department is getting into the spirit of giving with an annual event that leaves local kids with a big smile. MTN's Jack Ginsburg has a story in this week's Salute to Service.
A ride in a patrol car isn't always a fun experience, but it was for 12 local kids. Thursday night, the Columbia Falls Police Department took them to Target in Kalispell for their annual Shop with a Cop program. While shopping for toys is the most exciting part, Officer Mike Johnson says they make sure the kids have the necessary clothing to keep them warm for the winter.
They get boots and coats and snow pants and things like that to start. And then we usually we surprise them and let them know they got a little bit of extra money so they can go back and buy toys for their family members and other gifts for their family. Just to make that little extra special something for Christmas for the family at night. Might not have the funds to be able to go out and buy a bunch of toys and things like that.
And the kids were definitely excited about their new toys.
This goes together with that. Those two go together with this.
Oh, they were so excited. The little guy was running up and down the aisles with toys and screaming and yelling and having a good time. And it's really nice to be able to see the kids so happy.
The department has been at this for over 15 years, and Officer Johnson, since he has started at the department 11 years ago. He says he loves being able to get these kids presents, but any help in any form can make a difference in someone's life.
You don't always have to give money, maybe just a little bit of time, even just seeing somebody on the side of the road and stopping and making sure they're okay. Just the smallest things make a huge difference to people.
In Kalispell, Jack Ginsburg, MTN News.
And Johnson says the department plans to keep the tradition going next year. The Flathead Valley is home to many of our nation's fallen heroes, men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice defending our freedom. The Civil Air Patrol has made it their mission to remember these heroes as we look forward to a new year by placing memorial wreaths on their graves. And as MTN's Nicole Miller reports, the Wreaths Across America program makes it to every state.
The tradition of laying wreaths on the graves of veterans began in Arlington National Cemetery. Civil Air Patrol squadrons across the country, including the Flathead Valley, are placing wreaths on veterans' graves.
They served their country and they served us. They helped earn our freedom.
In a touching gesture of remembrance, members of the Flathead Composite Squadron of the Civil Air Patrol placed wreaths on the graves of area veterans at 3 local cemeteries.
We're out here honoring the members whose graves we're putting the wreaths on, but their families are also touched. It's not uncommon to see families out here participating in tears over the fact that we still remember their sacrifice.
And it was the generosity of the community that helped the cadets purchase the wreaths. Over the summer, they held a boot drive at area grocery stores.
Thanks to the generosity of the people in the Flathead Valley and their donations as we stood out in front of supermarkets all summer, we were able to purchase 1,000 wreaths to place on veterans' graves, and it's $15 a wreath, so that was $15,000 that we raised.
Montana Civil Air Patrol Wing Commander Mitch Edwards traveled from Great Falls to participate in laying the wreaths. He says it makes him proud to see the work the cadets are doing.
We have almost 300 members across the state, and everything that they do for the local communities in our state, it's greatly appreciated, and the family members and the community support is always greatly appreciated as well. We couldn't do this without the community support.
Reporting in Flathead Valley.
Merry Christmas from Flathead Composite Squadron.
Nicole Miller, MTN News.
And the squadron will also be hosting a ceremony tomorrow morning in Depot Park at 10 a.m. The numbers are in from the Flathead Valley Salvation Army City Ring-Off competition. Bell ringers stuck through the cold air at the grocery stores all day Thursday for the challenge to see which city could raise the most money. Altogether, over $12,000 was raised. The competition between cities was very close. Excuse me, but in the end, Evergreen came out as the winner. Columbia Falls, the defending champion, was only $40.16 behind them. And the money raised through the kettle is used locally to help provide basic needs to anyone experiencing difficult times. Last year, the Salvation Army in Kalispell served more than 28,000 hot meals, and more than 1,200 children were blessed with gifts for Christmas. And if you're feeling pessimistic about the state of affairs as we close out 2017, we might have the perfect antidote. Dennis Bragg delivers the healthy dose.
You may be feeling like the world couldn't get much worse, but you wouldn't be feeling that way if you spent any time at Missoula's Union Gospel Mission this afternoon. For about an hour, there was a continuous stream of generosity and thankfulness, all generated at the grassroots level. There were no government programs involved, no committees or studies, just people seeing a need to help one another.
We've all mentioned you can see God at work in here today. I'll tell you, we are just so blessed to be able to do this. It's wonderful.
For the past 3 years, Judy Sass, her fellow church members, and friends have pitched in to directly help the homeless have a happy holiday season and feel the love that still exists, even when fate seems to have turned the world against you. Spinning off the Backpacks for the Homeless drive, David's Angels is named in memory of Judy's son. And this year, even more volunteers were pitching in, with not only supplies, but enthusiasm, making for a rewarding afternoon.
It does. It makes it fun. We have several new helpers this year, and they've just had more fun.
Donations came from as far away as Darby with bags of snacks and other supplies for life on the street, warm coats, socks, gloves, and best of all, new boots for winter. Judy says about half the items were brand new donations this year, thanks in part to a generous cash donation from Walmart.
This is kind of the Christmas morning, isn't it?
It is indeed. This is how Ron and I celebrate Christmas, is by giving to others. We sure did today.
And best of all, teaming with Union Gospel Mission means the remaining sleeping bags and other items can be taken directly to the homeless camps in the coming days, something Judy and her volunteers aren't able to do. I ask her when planning starts for next Christmas.
by tomorrow, probably. We were still getting things in today, and we'll take them. We've got a place to keep them, so yeah, we start right away.
And that's a great way to keep the Christmas spirit alive even after the seasons change. In Missoula, Dennis Bragg, MTN News.
Up next, Aaron is back with a snowy weekend forecast. An Avalanche Lake is perfect for recreation right now, but not for the typical reason you might think. Stay with us.